Welcome to the Strathroy-Caradoc's Poppy Project tutorial on how to knit one of these lovely poppies for the project. Now, if you don't know much about the project, it is very exciting. We are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Strathroy Cenotaph by asking the community to come together and create 3,000 of these poppies, either knit, crocheted, or other material, and we'll be attaching them to a net and cascading them down the front of Town Hall. There are a few other surprise locations we're hoping for in the municipality, but those will be other announcements. Now, for this video, I will be using this recommended yarn down here, which is Loops and Thread, soft classic acrylic. This is black, the red is a bright red, medium for weight. Now, I got this from Michael's. There's so many brands and colors and shades out there, so you can find on our website a list of other recommended ones, but for the purpose of this video, this is the one that I'm using. So you can flip it over. We don't need the crochet. For that is another video if you're interested in learning that. We are going to be looking at the knit pattern. Now for this knit pattern, I am using my 5mm knit needles. I'll be taking you through this pattern rather slowly. I am a beginner myself, and so I will help along the way as best I can, doing tips and tricks, but if I can make it, I'm sure you out there can do it too. So let's get started. Now, we're going to want to cast on 56 stitches to begin with. Now, to make sure you have enough of a tail, the trick to that is to take your knitting needle and you're going to wrap the needle 56 times. So you make sure that you have enough yarn for all those stitches. So why don't you go ahead and do that? So that was 6. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 53, 54, 55, 56. So that's going to be the stitches. I can actually just take that all off right now. And then just for good measure, I like to have a little extra just to play it safe. Not only that, but we do want you to have a bit of a tail at the end. You can see here, actually, this one's quite long. You don't need it quite that long. But we will be using these to help us attach the poppies to the netting. So leave yourself about an 8-inch tail. And we're going to do a slip knot. So for a slip knot, I take my 2 fingers, go over and under, make an X. You're going to go under the first loop, pick up your second one, and just pull. And so you have a loop there, and take your needle, insert it, and then just pull down. And so it's nice and snug on your knitting needle. So you're going to have 2 long threads. The first one is your tail, so it has the end, and the second one is attached to your ball of wool. So for this one, we are now going to cast on 56 stitches. So with the tail towards me and the one that's attached to the ball of wool away from me, I'm going to create basically a slingshot with my fingers. So we're going to come up and over the thumb and down, and then up and over my index finger and down. I also tend to hold it with these 2 fingers just to keep them snug, because I'm starting to pull away more with my thumb. I don't need to do that. So you're going to start down the bottom of your thumb, scoop up. Don't pull it off of your thumb. You're going to twist, go to the top of your index finger and scoop down. So you've picked up both. And then you're going to, you see there's this opening here. You're actually going to swivel your needle back down through, and this is when you take it off of your thumb. And you pull down on that tab as you go. So you have now 2 stitches. So now you're going to reset. So over the thumb, over your index finger, into that Y or slingshot, scoop up from the bottom of your thumb, down from the top of your index finger, through the hole and your thumb, off of your thumb, and pull. There you go. And so we're going to make sure we have 56 of these. That does include your first stitch, so we want 56 in total. And the other thing is you don't want to be pulling so tight that you can't move these stitches. You want them to be able to kind of slide up and down your needle there. So you want them snug, but not rigid. So we're gonna do that again. And I also like to put my index finger on my right hand on the top of my stitches so they don't slide off the end. So bottom of the thumb, scoop up, top of the index finger, scoop down through the hole on the thumb. Pull tight. All right, so you keep going with that and we'll see you at the end when you've got 56 of these stitches along. All right, so now that you have casted on your 56 stitches, go ahead and just give it a double count to double check. I've counted now 4 times, but you can also see that my tail is quite long. Don't worry about that. We can always trim it later. So now we're going to switch our hands here into my right, and we're going to go back along to do the first right side row. So for this, you're going to pick up your other needle and we are going to knit 10. So that is, knitting is going underneath, up the other side, yarn over, coming back down, making sure your stitch is still on that, up on the right, on the side closer to you, on the front side. Now I'm also going to just shift my stitches down a bit because I am close. I pushed them down as I was counting, and then you're going to take this off the end. And so that's going to be your first knit. So in the back, yarn over, down, and off. 2. You can always keep sliding down. That's why you wanted your stitches to be able to move. I've done 3. 4. 5. Like I said, I'm no expert, so I am a bit slower, but that's okay. Take your time. You'll get better with practice. Yarn over. Off. In. Yarn over. Through and off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 9. 10. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So now we're going to do 4 purls. So you take your yarn and you bring it between your needles to the front. And so to purl, you're going to still go in the bottom, but you're going to come in the front of the needle here, or in front of, so your right one will come in front of your left one. Yarn over, and then this is where you're going to have to come back through. Make sure you still have that on, and then yarn off. So you're going to come again through the front, yarn over, up, and off. 2 more of those. 1, off, and in, over, and you kind of come up the back side if that helps you, and off. So now you should have, you can kind of see, you can see the difference, how these are in front. So you have 10 knits, 4 purls. And we're going to do that again to the end of your needle. So we're gonna do 10 more knits, 4 more purls, 10 more knits, 4 more purls. And I will see you at the end of this row. All right, and we're back, and you just finished the first right side row, and so now we're going to do your first wrong side row. So you're going to flip your needle over. And my tails are very long, so I keep trying to not get them tangled. So you're going to take your needle, and now we're going to do the opposite. We're still going to knit first and then purl, but we're only going to knit 4 and then purl 10. So those 4 purls you end on your right side, you're now going to knit those 4 on the wrong. So we'll start with those 4. So you, again, you're going to go in, over, under, and off. In, over, under, off. In, over, under, off. In, over, under, off. All right, and then I'm going to purl. So I'm going to bring my yarn back to the front. I'm just going to slide my stitches up a bit, make them near the top. So you're going to start at the bottom, go in from the bottom, over, bottom, over, all right. I think that was 10, but I'll double check. So there's my 4 knit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 purls. And then we're going to knit again. So you're going to continue on down. So knit 4, purl 10, knit 4, purl 10, knit 4. Purl 10. Yeah, should always end on a purl. All right, and I'll see you back at the end of your wrong side row. All right, welcome back. You should have just finished your first wrong side row. You can already start to see the little indents here. That will be the indents between your petals to give them definition. So now what you're going to do is you are going to continue on doing 4 more of each. So you'll have 5 right side, 5 wrong side, so 10 rows in total. So I'm going to do my next right side with the 10 knit, 4 purls, 10 knit, 4 purls, 10 knit, 4 purls, 10 knit, 4 purls, and then I will keep doing that until I have back and forth 10 rows in total. So I will see you back here when you're all done. All right, welcome back. So now you've completed your 10 rows. So 5 right and 5 wrong, alternating, and you have this beautiful fabric now. And so what we're going to do is you're now actually going to cut your yarn, so you can cut leaving that nice tail, and we're going to start working with the black. So for the black, you want to leave, you know, about the same length as the tail, so you can just put them together. Oh, I don't need to. And then we're going to start knitting in the black. So this one, we're actually going to now start decreasing our stitches. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're going to decrease by knitting 2 together. So that means we're going to come in from our second stitch here. You're going to go underneath from right to left, yarn over, so you can see I'm through 2 there, yarn over with the black, And I like to kind of pinch this down here just to be safe. Keep it in place, and you're going to go back through. I want to make sure I'm grabbing the whole black, not splitting the, that's why I like to pull it, so then you get a nice clean edge there. So you can see that, pushing it through and letting my 2 red stitches jump off, just like that. So we're gonna do that again. So we're gonna go into 2 of the red stitches, yarn over with the black, and then carefully making sure we've picked up that black and not using the tail. Pick up that black, yarn over, and letting that jump off. So now you can do that all the way down to decrease our stitches. All right, so now that you've finished knitting those 2 together, you're going to turn it over, and we're simply going to purl all the way down. You're not picking up anything extra on this one. You're simply going to do a purl. So with the purls, remember you want your yarn in the front. You're going to come in the front, yarn over, and then off. All right, so you've just done all of your purls. You might notice this last purl is a bit loose, so just make sure you're keeping it snug, giving it a little tug if you need to. And we're gonna flip it over, and now we are going to decrease 3 stitches at a time. So this will have that knit 2 progression in it, but we're going to start off with a slip stitch. So you're gonna come into your first stitch as if you're gonna purl it, but instead of wrapping your yarn around or anything, you're just gonna pull it off of the end. And then your next 2, we're gonna knit together. So you've already done a bunch of those. So let's get that in. So knit 2 together. Make sure you're not grabbing your tail and your long piece attached to your wool, up and over. And again, I like to pinch it because it just keeps it snug to the needle. It's a bit easier for my needle to pick it up as I go underneath. Okay, and then you're gonna come off. And now here is where we're going to come back to that stitch that you just slipped on first. And this one, very carefully, without pushing this stitch off, you are going to pick up that one and cross, oh, see, I almost did it, cross over top. Sometimes I like to grab that one underneath with my nail, just to keep it in place. And this guy is gonna come off, just like that. And so then that way I've brought 3 stitches together. So we're gonna do that all the way down, and I'll do this with you because it is a bit tricky. You'll probably see me struggle a bit because I am no beginner. But if I can do it, you can do it. So we're gonna slip that first one and we're gonna pull it right off. And then we're going to knit 2 together. Sometimes if you're a beginner like me, I like to get right up close and make sure, also don't forget to hold on to that. Get right up close to it and make sure you can see your other side here, because sometimes that helps me when I am trying to get my needle through. There it goes. Wrap around. Again, don't have to be super fast or an expert. Just don't want to lose any stitches. There, so we've done 2 now. So we've done that one, but we haven't brought over our stitch. So again, it's not that very first one we're doing, it's just the one that we slipped on. So you're gonna wanna grab that one. And again, make sure you're not pulling off that stitch you just made. You're just gonna slip that one off. So now I'm down to 2. All right, and we've done all of those, and you actually will have just one stitch left, which obviously you can't just slip stitch or do anything. So just do a good old-fashioned knit. Just this last one, just so it's on the same number. All right, now you have an open poppy at least. So we are going to do the next part where we're going to pull them all together. So just to get my string untangled here, you want to leave about a 10-inch tail for this one, and then you can pull out. Now I don't think I said this at the beginning, but you will need a darning needle. This one again is just a big plastic one. I got a whole set of these, but you can find ones that are thinner. I like this one just because it's super easy to pull through the eye of the needle. So now here is where we're going to thread through these stitches and start pulling them off of our needle. So we're going to go back in with your thread here. So you're just very easily gonna pick up your stitches, one, and start taking them off of your needle. Just make sure you don't drop any as you go. You can do just off the end. Just get them all matched up. Anyways, that helps you move your hand a little more. Do a couple of time, then pull back. So you have this like here. You have there. I guess we'll pop through probably this later. That's fun. All right, and now we are going to, like a drawstring, pull these together. So we're going to close in the circle, basically. Okay, and so with my thread still attached here, what you want to do, oh, did I miss a stitch? I think I missed one. I'm going to grab that. Easy enough to do, guys. Got that, there we go. All right. So pull them all nice and tight. That's better, that pulled better. Okay, nice and tight. And now with this remaining black, you actually are just going to stitch up your black circle. And then we're gonna do the same with the red up here. So just start with your black. And you're just, make sure that that middle is nice and tight, and you're just gonna grab either side as you go up. And you want, I like to make sure that they're nice and lined up there, so you can do that first and then go back down, or like me, and you just kind of pinch it and hold it in place. I just want to make sure I grab a chunk. Through, nice and tight. I'm just doing about 3 or 4 here. Make sure it's nice and tight. Oh, that'll happen. Good. Nice and tight. All right, so that's there. And if you want to be extra safe, you should have that end, that other black tail up near the top. You can just tie. I like to tie a knot, but make sure you are on the back side of your poppy, not the front, so that your tails are hidden in behind. And I like to do a knot. You don't have to though. I like to make sure it keeps nice and secure. So now you're gonna do it with your red. You can start from the bottom and work your way up if you would like, or you can start from the top and work your way down to the bottom. Maybe even just see which tail is longer. So my tail at the top is a bit longer. I'm gonna start there. And so again, you'll need your needle and I'm going to thread that. Ooh. And so here, I'm just gonna line up the top. So it's attached on that side, so I'm just gonna go into this side. Now, you can do these stitches a couple of different ways. I'm not being super fussy, and I'm just more or less stitching them together. Now, you could do more of like a quilting stitch or a running stitch. There's a whole bunch of different ones. You can kind of loop around, but again, you just want to make sure you're catching the edges so you have a bit of that middle crease. So another stitch you could do is you could go in 2 stitches. Oh, that was only one. So in 2. Pull through. And then on the same side, you just want to make sure you're matching wherever you've stitched on the one side to the next side. Just like that. I'm just gonna go all the way down. Just gonna sew it up. There you go, and when you're happy with it, again, you can check the front side. Oh, see, I have a little bit of a hole there. I don't really like that. So I'm very simply just gonna go back up to it. Your back doesn't have, the back of the poppy doesn't have to be super pretty or anything like that. And that's just something that I missed. Now, normally you can like undo what you've done and come back up. But again, I'm not being super fussy here. I just want that nice hole done up. All right, I'm gonna come back down and I'm gonna weave this one in just so it's not as loose, but you'd be back down here already. And then again, here's the other red tail, and I'm just going to simply tie these 2 together in a knot just to make sure I'm extra safe and secure so they don't come out. And that's the poppy. Now these tend to curl in a little bit, so you can always just kind of stretch it out a smidge. That tends to help, and keep it a bit flatter. There we go, just like that. And ta-da, you have knitted a poppy for the project. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Again, they don't need to be absolutely perfect. Mine is far from that. But I hope that you were able to learn something new today. All right, and check out our other video if you want to learn to crochet, and thank you for participating in our Strathroy-Caradoc Poppy project. See you later.